In this lecture, we're setting up a spinning script so that we can spin things sensibly and spin some things maybe not as sensibly over there. So let's get spinning. So together we're making a little playground obstacle course type thing, and it's good for us to have a few tools in our toolkit. We've got some things that don't move that you bump into. We've got things that drop from the sky. One thing I'd like to do is something that spins around. So let's start off that process by creating a new game object. I'll right click in the hierarchy, 3D object. We'll add in a cube. We'll place the cube somewhere sort of central-ish. Hit F to zoom in on that. Now I need to change the dimensions of it. So R for scale, down a little bit, in a little bit, and out a little bit. And now I'm going to hit E to simulate what I think it's going to do. Woof, 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 woof. That seems like it's a pretty good size. We can make it smaller or bigger. It's up to us. I'm going to drop it down on the ground a little bit more. Maybe make it a touch higher so it's a little bit more menacing. Next thing I'll do is add some scripts. So we need to add the existing scripts that we already know we need for things that we'll bump into. So we've got we don't need dropper, we don't need mover, object hit is what we need. So I'll click on my game object and then click and drag object hit on top of my cube. And now I need to create a new script to spin it around. So right click, create mono behavior script. I will call this spinner or spinner, depending upon where you're from. And we'll drag that on top of our game object. Now, I've named it cube. That's a pretty terrible name for something that spins. So let's call this spinning thing. There you go. I got halfway through that and I thought this is the dumbest name ever, but I'm sticking with it, and we'll drag that underneath our environment game object so it's all nice and grouped. We can hide it if need be. So spinning thing, what a magic name. And you know, while we're here, let's give it a color. What color should we make it? It's currently the boring old gray. I'm going to right click, create material. I don't know what color it's going to be yet, so I'm just going to name it the spinner color because I got no idea. Drag that over our object. It's white. Is white? Does that look good? Maybe. Going for a bit of a dark theme here. I know everyone loves watching dark theme lectures as opposed to light theme, so we'll see if we can keep everything nice and dark for us. So maybe we'll make it a little bit bluish as well. How does that look if I pop that on those other objects? Looks okay. Fine for now when we're prototyping. Fine for now. So let's go back to our scripts folder. Look for the spinner script. Open that up. Tidy it up a little bit because we don't need our comments. You can leave them there, but I'm just tidying them up so you've got less stuff to look at on my screen. And now let's think about this logically. We want something to be spinning around, so that needs to happen every frame. So we're looking to do something in update here. And you know what? When we were moving, of course I don't have my mover script there at the moment. Let's just get our mover script into Visual Studio Code. Mover script. In here, when we're moving our player, we were changing the Transform.Translate. That was saying move it to a new spot. I think what we're going to do is quite similar. While I've clicked on my spinning thing, game object, you can see that we've got transform and we've got rotation. I believe that's what we're going to do, and I know it's going to be the Y axis that we rotate around. You know we're rotating around Y because Y, this green uppy downy arrow here, is right in the middle of where it rotates around that axis. So that's how we know whether it's going to be Y that we rotate around. And you know what? We kind of want the flexibility if we want to create something like that. That'd be kind of neat as well. I hadn't thought about that. But if we create our script in such a way, then we can drop this spinner script on all manner of objects and twiddle with some numbers and create all different sort of behavior from those. That's the magic of creating this sandbox kind of thing first. We've got all these different tools and weapons that we can use. So let's jump back into Spinner. Now that I've gone down that side tangent, within Update, we're going to start by accessing our transform. And then dot, let's have a look and see if there's anything here that talks about rotation. So I know, because I've looked at this before, we can use rotate as our method. Instead of over here on mover, we were using translate. The equivalent with rotation is rotate. And then parentheses, and then semicolon at the end. We've got the red squiggly line because this method is asking for us to put in some information. And what do you think that information might be? Hint, hint. That information, how'd you like that? That information is that we need to put in the X, Y, and Z values for the rotation that we want or the angles that we want. So for now, I'm just going to put in 1, 1, 1. And let's see how that goes. We'll save that. Just 1, 1, 1, see what happens. I believe we've got the script on spinner. Yes, we do. We're on spinning thing and spinner. When I click on play, yeah, we see that, whoa, it's going all bananas. Okay, why is that? Well, it's because I typed in 1, 1, 1. So we're rotating on all of these X, Y, and Z. Let's try just going 0, 1, 0, shall we? Although, to be honest, that looked pretty cool. So my challenge to you is don't do exactly what I'm doing. Learn, set up your script, all that kind of stuff, but then mess around with the numbers and tune it differently to me so that you create something that's cool and something that you enjoy. I think that's pretty cool. It's spinning in the right direction now. That's what we wanted. However, we've done it in a naughty way. We've got magic numbers living down in here. So if we were to get there and say, oh, it's spinning too fast or too slow, or I want to spin it on the x-axis, then we need to go find these numbers. And then if we put this script onto a different game object, those numbers wouldn't be right. And the way we solve that is by creating variables. You knew that. I heard you yelling it at the screen. That means it's time for a challenge. If you're yelling at the screen, create variables for X, Y, and Z, serialize those 3 variables, and pass those into our rotate method so that our object spins. So you're going to create 3 variables, serialize them, and then pass them into our rotation, and tune it. Go back into Unity and tune the rotation speed so that you're happy with it, so that your player can kind of run past and it'll be enjoyable to do that. There's your challenge. Take that on. I'll see you back here shortly. Okie dokie, up at the top of our class above start, I'm going to start with serialize field, and then this is going to be a float. I didn't tell you what type, but hopefully you figured out that float was the right way to do this. And I'll call this X angle. Make sure I don't accidentally name it angel, but X angle equals, what should we start it off as? I'll start it off as 0. And I'll put 0f there just to be clear. And you know what? I didn't actually have to initialize. So when we declare, we're giving it a name. When we initialize, we're giving it a starting value. I didn't have to put anything in there because when you don't initialize a variable, in this case, it would have just started off at 0 anyway. That's a default setting. It would have started at 0, but I'll put it in there as 0. So I'm really clear what's going on. And I'm going to highlight that, copy, and then paste that another 2 times, and then be very sneaky and just say X, Y, and Z to rename it in here. Save that as you go along. And then down here in our Transform.Rotate, I'm going to substitute my numbers for lovely variables. X, angle not angel, Y, angle not angel, and Z. And I won't make the same joke again. I've made it enough times already. Save that. It should be good. If we jump back over into Unity, it probably won't turn around at all because I put them all to 0 because I'm a bit foolish like that. Let's make sure we've got X, Y, and Z. I'm going to put my Y to 3 and see what happens. Click on play. What happens is it's way too fast, so I'm going to tune it. What feels better? That feels too slow. I don't know at this stage. I'm going to hit stop, put it to 0.5, click on play. And that's looking pretty good. Why did I stop and put it to 0.5? I don't know. I probably could have kept going where I was. But there we go. We've got it at 0.5. Save on that. That's really cool. Like I said before, if you wanted to, you could go and add this spinner script to something else. So we could put it over on that thing over there and click on that thing, which is obstacle 2 in my world. And you can see we've now got the X, the Y, and the Z. And I could just be crazy and say, let's put the X angle change per frame. We'll put that to 2 and see what happens there when we click on play. Yeah, you see it rotates like that. That could be kind of fun. We have to kind of zing past it in the world. So there's some things that we can do. We're building out our sandbox. Actually, I will remove this for now and we'll put it back on later on, but I just don't want to accidentally forget about it. Right click, remove component. So that one isn't spinning, but the others are. So there we go. Hopefully you're enjoying getting these tools in the toolkit. Soon we'll build our little obstacle course that we're creating here. But for now, we've got a couple more things to get our hazards and obstacles all set up. Good stuff. I'll see you in the next lecture.